All right, so I have cooked 5 small chicken breasts in my Instant Pot, just in some regular water. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them in my food processor here. I'm going to pulse them probably 15 times. I've already done it 9. And this is going to be for our shredded chicken enchilada bake. So I'm already at 9. We're going to do about 6 more times. Gonna be good. Oh yeah, that'll be perfect. I'm going to show you. Perfect. So we're gonna be using this to make our shredded chicken enchiladas. Let's get started. All right, guys. So chicken enchilada casserole. My kids love it when I make this. So nice big mixing bowl. We have the chicken that we've already pre-cooked and shredded in our food processor. It's gonna go into our big mixing bowl. Next, I'm going to use 3 cans, 14.5 ounces each of diced tomatoes with green chilies. If you did not have these, you could use 1 large jar of salsa. And honestly, that's typically what I do, but I'm out of salsa. So that's what I'm doing today. I'm using these. Sorry, Amazon delivery. Anyways, so I'm out of salsa, which is crazy because I love salsa, but I'm out. So that's why I'm using the 3 cans of this today. I'm just gonna pour that in with my chicken. And we recycle our cans, so that's why I'm keeping them off to the side. And Emma actually likes using them when she cleans them out. She likes to use them for painting, like she'll paint them and put little flowers, like wildflowers that she's picked for me in them. Or she'll just use them to hold her paintbrushes. Or when she does her pour paint, if she doesn't want to ruin a plastic cup or something like that, she'll use something like that and she'll do her levels. She's an amazing artist. That kid blows me away every day. Honestly, so proud of her. Okay, so enough about me bragging. So back on task. So now we have our minced garlic in olive oil that we use. I love garlic, so I'm going to use 4 tablespoons of this. Yep, 4. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. I love the way garlic smells. Love it. All right, next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna put in 2 chopped onions. All right, so we've chopped up our onion. Now, if you don't have one of these, I highly recommend that you get one. Kitchen scraper. I think I paid $4 for it at Bed Bath & Beyond. I think they have them for like $2 at Walmart. But in a pinch, if you don't have one, look at how cool this is. So you've chopped all your stuff up, right? You need to put it in there. And you're like, oh, I don't want to spill it all over the place. See this cutting board? Has that hole there? Put it right there on your board. Look at that, y'all. And now you're not spilling anything that you've chopped. And it's all going right into your bowl. Pretty nifty, huh? Multi-purpose. But since we do have the kitchen scraper, perfect. Seasonings. So we have our minced garlic in there, and that's amazing. And we do have our tomatoes in there that have the diced green chilies, but that doesn't have a lot of salt in it. Now I don't want you to put too much salt because later on we're going to use sour cream and cheese, and those things all have salt in them too. We do need to have some sort of seasoning in there. Ground cumin. A little bit of this goes a long way. Half of a teaspoon. I use this when I'm making like my homemade taco seasoning mix. I love it. Garlic and onion mixture. If you did not have this, you could use a tablespoon of onion powder, 2 tablespoons of fine garlic powder, a teaspoon of salt, and a teaspoon of black pepper. Since we do have it, we're gonna use it. And I'm gonna do a full tablespoon of this. This one right here, the little spoon I have in my hand is a half of a tablespoon. So that's why you see me doing 2. Beautiful. Mix it up. Guys, kids, smell this. It smells so, so good. Now, you notice if you look at this mixture, while it looks great, it also looks slightly dry. We don't want that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put in 1 28-ounce can of crushed tomatoes. And then we're also gonna put in 1 tablespoon of onion paste. I like to use the tomato paste in a tube. It allows you to get a really good amount out and be able to control it versus opening a whole tiny can of it. So we're gonna do about a tablespoon of that. And then remember, 1 28-ounce jar, or can or jar, whatever you have, crushed tomatoes. Mix it up. Yes, this looks much, much, much better. Looks very nice, juicy, and I use that word because I don't like the M word. That's right. You guys know the word I'm talking about. You're saying it in your head right now. Nope, not gonna catch me doing it. Nope. I have my square baking dish here that I have lined with a little bit of Pam, just sprayed it in there. These are tortillas that I put in here. I actually had them in the oven a little bit ago to crisp them up. You don't have to do that step. It's just something I did. So now we're gonna start the layering process. All right, so we are going to do this 1 layer at a time. I'm using a half of a cup scoop just because it's the first one I grabbed, not because I'm actually measuring it. I just go based on eyeball, but if you really wanted to get technical, you could measure it. And I know you're thinking, that is an awfully big bowl, and that's not that big of a pan, but I am also making extra because I have a friend of mine who just recently had back surgery. Erin, that's you, yes. And she has such an amazing family. Her and her husband are so sweet, and their kids are just absolutely adorable. And she had to have surgery recently, so Daddy is home with the kids. And I figured, you know, it would be nice. Obviously, yes, they could, you know, eat whatever they want to eat, but I thought it'd be nice to make something like this and take over to them. So one of these will be for them. So we have our first layer of our mixture here that we made with our chicken and tomatoes and onions. Now we're gonna do shredded cheese. Don't be chintzy with the cheese. Nobody likes that. Everybody likes cheese. So don't be cheap. Next layer of tortillas. And this time you don't have to do 6. I usually do just 4. Just enough to create that little base. Layer number 2. When we bake this in the oven, we're gonna bake it at 350 degrees for about 45 minutes. And that's gonna give the onions that we put in here time to soften and cook and give everything a chance to just kind of marry the flavors and whatnot and melt the cheese and make it all bubbly and gooey and perfect. And we're actually gonna cover it in tin foil because we don't want to burn the cheese on the top. And if you're worried about the cheese sticking to your tin foil, put in a couple of toothpicks and then just kind of lightly lay the foil over top of it, and then that way your cheese won't stick to it. So I put our last layer of cheese on this one. Look at how perfect that is. And this sucker is heavy. I'm not saying it would hurt somebody. I'm just saying in a pinch, home defense. That's all I'm gonna say. All right, so we're gonna cover this with our tin foil. We're gonna bake it in the oven for 350 degrees for about 35 to 45 minutes, and it's going to be perfect. Guys, they're covered in tin foil. They are on cookie sheets because remember there was a lot of juice in those tomatoes, and we don't want that to boil over and ruin our brand new perfect oven. Yes, oh my God, isn't it pretty? Oh, it's so clean. Okay, so on sheet trays, 350 degree oven. We're gonna do that for 35 to 45 minutes.